Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Laras Rouly from Senior High School 4, Denpasar, Bali. Today is a wonderful day, so I would love to take this opportunity to talk to all of you about millennials' awareness on mental health. When you say you have a broken arm, people will immediately call the ambulance and rush to help you. But when you say you have a mental illness, no one will care. Why is that? Mental illness in general has always been a problem for both teenagers and also adults. Mental illness like depression can happen at any age, but most likely to happen at adulthood. Depression in midlife can unfortunately lead some people to doing suicide. 700,000 people die each year due to suicide, and suicide is the fourth leading cause of death for 15 until 29 years old. We all know that in our beloved country, Indonesia, mental health is still taboo because of the stigma going around against people with mental disorders. This stigma will somehow give a bad impact to the society, and it will force people with mental disorder to face discrimination and shunned. As the young generation of Indonesia with many dreams and also hopes, I believe that we need to start and be more aware of our own mental health. Imagine if we are not constantly aware of our own mental health. I believe that it will be very hard for us to know ourselves, let alone what we wish and desire to be. But still, many adults, especially millennials, underestimate and undervalue mental illness as something that is unimportant. The majority of them will claim to have gone through the worst case scenario ever, then proceed to compare their life and experiences. This kind of mindset is very shameful. I mean, it's 2022. We should have grown out of that thinking years ago. But we must also remember that most millennials grew up without caring and thinking about their own mental health due to their parents' upbringing. For most of the time, people with mental illness have always been neglected. Many people thought that mental illness is the result of demon possession, sorcery, even an angry god. And this theory is somehow believable enough to become a hereditary story here in Indonesia. But the real reason why people don't really care about their own mental health back then as they do now is that they don't have the time to do so. They don't have time to care whether they are sad, stressed, confused, angry, or any other emotion. They don't have time for that. They live in an era where achieving certain things is not easy, so they gotta work hard for it. Unlike now, all the things that we need are already provided by the tip of our fingers. So in this era, we can't afford to be stressed out. We must stay sane. And if not, it will impact our personality and also characters, like serial killers, abusers, even sociopaths. But little did they know, and little do you know, most millennials have probably faced and also experienced mental illness without them realizing. But how can that happen? How can it slip their mind? Well, just like my previous statement, most millennials underestimate mental health issues. Their stress caused by hustle is seen as something normal. Their consumptive behavior, also caused by stress, is also seen as something very casual. This is the reason why millennials are very prone to mental illness. It's because they are not aware of it. Millennials are the first generation who grew up with technology. Millennials who use social media on a daily basis tend to compare themselves to others and put themselves under a great deal of stress and pressure. We all know that social media is fake and it portrays unrealistic and absurd standards for us to follow. They expected us to have luxurious cars, designer brands, lots of famous friends, and so on. These norms are the reason why millennials' mindset are tainted. And with that, the hustling culture was born. We can find so many millennials working 2 to 3 jobs just to maintain their luxurious lifestyle. Working 24/7 have always been their motto. They always push themselves to do lots of work at once that will eventually drive them insane. If you think that millennial works because they love their job, well, I must say that you are incorrect. Most of them work because they want a huge paycheck. Although there's nothing wrong with wanting a huge paycheck. I mean, personally, if I grew up and have my own job, I want a huge paycheck. I mean, who doesn't? The problem here is they always push themselves to do more, and more, and it makes them stressed and unhappy in the long run. Stress equal unhappiness, and happiness equal depression. Depression means mental illness. Even though millennials are the first generation who talked about mental illness, I hope that my generation, our generation, can be the one who cure and fix it. Because the only person who know about our own mental state and health is ourselves. Me, myself, and I. No one else. So don't keep it to yourself. Open up. Reach out to other people. Let them help you. It is okay to not be okay. What's not okay is if you stay that way. Thank you, everyone. Have a nice day and ciao.